Hey, hey. Welcome to another episode of This Shit's Hard podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Biscuiti.
And I'm Jen, aka Rumblebum. Thank you for joining us.
And with that, welcome Chloie Jonsson to This Shit's Hard podcast studio. We are so happy to have you here with us today.
I am so excited to be here. This is so great. Rumble and I have been talking about it for how long?
A minute.
Yeah. So I'm really excited.
We are so excited. And also, we just want to say, just because we're recording this from 3 separate locations does not mean that we will not have an in-person recording opportunity. If you want to come to Florida, we welcome you with open arms. We're so excited to spend any amount of time with you. So
love it.
Just know that that's also still available to you. And probably what's going to happen is we're going to have a bunch of follow-up questions after today. And so we'll have to have a follow-up round 2 at the very least.
I'm down.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Where would we like to start is the question.
Where would we like to start?
How about
I can do a quick little intro here so the peoples can know who I am.
Wow, yes. I love that you're doing our job for
yes, you are.
We love this.
I've never done this before.
And drink some beverages.
Yeah, never, ever, never. She's never done it.
This is so new to me. My name is Chloie Jonsson. I am a trans woman. If you don't know what that means, it means that I was born into a male body and my mind did not match the equipment that came out of my mother's vagina. And so I took the steps that were necessary to make my mind, soul, and body align through lots of therapy, some surgical procedures, some things. I did this when I was 15 years old and I am now 43. So I have 28 years in the game. It's been a crazy journey. I am also an athlete. I am an advocate for all things sex positive. I do not believe that there is a single slut in the world, if we can say that. That's probably not the worst thing I'm going to say.
Well, actually, we learned a new term last week.
What is it?
Slut faming, not slut shaming.
Oh, I'm here for it.
We love it as well. Yes.
Anything sexual, I'm here for. I'm here to talk about whatever it is. I am a pretty open book. I am a free spirit. I am the the champion of the downtrodden. I love an underdog, which we'll get to later plays into my dating life, which is not good. But I love an underdog. I love an underdog story. I love to help.
And we love that. That's a very broad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of topics to cover there.
I know. Yeah. If you like to help, you're very similar. Well, we already know you're very similar in that way to Jen. She's very much in service to others and sometimes to her detriment. So I don't know if that resonates with you as well, Chloe.
Well, I did do that. What is it? The Enneagram?
Yes. Enneagram. You're not a 2.
No, I am an 8, which I think fits me very well.
Me too.
But I do have a soft spot for the downtrodden, and I think it's because I was a downtrodden. I was extremely bullied from kindergarten to my last day of high school, so I think that's where it comes from. I always want to help people not feel the way I felt.
That makes sense. That plays into your story.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with the big topic of the trans world and everything going on right now in today's society and your thoughts, feels about it? I guess we can start there.
Yeah, let's do it. This shit is BANANAS, end of story. It is crazy. like you guys know, like I had a very public fight with my chosen sport a long time ago to be able to compete in my sport. It was never intended to be so big. I was never intending to be outed essentially to the entire world, which was like, that's a whole nother story. But so I've been in the game of advocacy for a while. And it's pretty crazy now that in 2024, almost, I guess 2023, but that it is more unsafe now than I have ever felt.
Really?
Right.
That's interesting.
And when I came up, when I was baby trans and I came up, like my elders were very clear about like what I needed to do to survive. And it's, you know, it's like an assimilation, like you become a woman and like you protect that at all costs because you will be murdered, right? Like that's in the 90s, that's what I was told. Um, and I lived a very sheltered, protective life because I moved around a lot, either mentally or physically. When people would find out that I was trans, I would just switch groups and stuff until I was able to be comfortable in my own skin and own myself and not allow that to be a secret, which we'll get to that later, right? But it was life or death then, and now it's just like life or death if you walk out your door. I mean, and I'm not talking just for the LGBTQIA plus community. A lot of letters to get out there, but really it's for anyone that's not a cisgendered white person, but still, I guess, like they're being gunned down in mass shootings now. So I don't really know. No one's safe anymore. But like Nicole knows, I was planning on moving to Florida for 2 years. It was like my destination. This is like my vision. I don't have a vision board. I'm not that woo woo, but like my mental vision board, yeah, was to end up in Florida, and shit turned sideways in Florida. I mean, not just Florida now, Tennessee, I think Georgia, Mississippi. I mean, half the states, but I sent it to Rumble, one of like the top queer travel agencies for the nation sent out an advisory warning for people to not go to Florida because stuff is so bananas there right now. It's really sad. A lot of people are just taking the anti-drag bills like with a grain of salt because they're like, well, we're not doing drag, or however they want to interpret that. Well, here's the deal. So many of these laws are so new and so loosely interpreted that it could apply to trans people. So imagine me and my happy little ass like walking through Dollywood, which is somewhere that I don't know if I'll ever be able to go now because Tennessee passed the anti-drag law. They could just swoop me up and arrest me for like, you know, being in drag because they identified me as a trans person, and according to them, I'm not in the right clothing or appearance to, you know, to be able to walk the street. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And for context, where are you living now, and where were you born?
Yes. Okay. So I was born in Silicon Valley, very open area just south of San Francisco. Right now, I spend my time between California and Nevada. And California, Nevada, and Washington are kind of like the sanctuary states of the West Coast. They're protecting the abortion laws and protecting all the queer people. So I'm just
and not to put words in your mouth, but when we were speaking about your potential relocation and you were looking, this is a long time ago, about, and when you were looking at Florida as a potential option for you, one of the factors that, aside from having great dog parks, access to beaches, you were also looking for appropriate and skilled and able medical resources too. So can you talk a little bit about what that's like on a daily basis for you and what your needs are there?
Yeah, so I mean, I always have to look anywhere I want to move. I have to see what my medical resources are like, and obviously like what the gym is like, because those are the two most important things for my mental health. Florida is in the middle right now of I don't think it passed yet, but they're attempting to block insurance companies from allowing them to cover trans affirming care, period.
Yeah, I
Not
think I've
just
heard
for
that too.
youth, not
Yeah.
just for youth, but for adults. So now that's a factor I have to take into account anywhere that I'm trying to move. Is like my insurance going to be affected? And these bills and this legislation that's happening right now is not new. This has been happening for quite a few years now. We've been fighting this fight, but a lot of people don't know it because it's not making it to their feeds, because maybe they don't interact with a lot of queer people, right? Or maybe they're not prominent on social media. My dad used to be the typical voter, right? Conservative ways, liberal ways. He would find the middle and vote for who he felt was best, right? He voted for Trump. That's like, we're not going to dive down that rabbit hole, but he voted for Trump. And then this year, I was explaining to him about all of these bills, and he's like, they can't do that. That's not legal. I said, but Dad, they've done it. Like, these are things that they've already passed. And he had no idea because he's only receiving one side of the media, right? And so it's like my job to inform him, which is exhausting. It's exhausting advocating for yourself and your entire community. But it needs to be done. I keep getting off topic. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I think it's all related.
All
And
related. Yeah.
for our listeners and audience, I think it's important to also reiterate that Jen and I don't go down one lane when we select and invite guests to be on our podcast either. So, we try very much to keep our personal preferences and views out so that we can just simply talk about the people who are doing really hard shit. And I'm not saying that what you're talking about today isn't relevant. Of course, it's relevant and important. That's why we want to give you a platform. But also, it would be interesting because for you to talk to even some of our past guests, who are on the other side of that kind of journey and road. So I think it's important just to mention that for our guests or for not only our guests, but also our audience to understand we're trying to hear all sides of this. And I think that what's missing, you mentioned it a little bit, in today's, society and world is access to information that is truth and access to information that represents all parties. And so that's why we're here. And that's why you're here.
We just had this discussion, Nicole and I, actually yesterday, about news. And just like your dad, my parents also voted for Trump. And I feel, I clearly am not trans, but so I can't imagine the layer that adds on, because it's exhausting for me trying to give my parents correct information whenever they're telling me this, and this. And I'm like, that's not true. And you're only watching literally Fox News, and they're feeding you chaos and lies and propaganda. And it's exhausting just to get normal information across to people who aren't, I don't know if open-minded is the right word, maybe open-minded, aren't as open-minded, or don't want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, we have lost, obviously I don't want to go down this road, but like, we have lost the ability in our society to have a middle ground. We used to be able to listen and make decisions and like come to like a group consensus at least. And it wasn't, you could be conservative, but vote a different way. Like, we're just so divided these days. It's really hard. There's so much information. There's so much misinformation. There's too much information with the internet now. People don't know where to look. It's super overwhelming. Is technology like that great for us? I don't think so. I mean, it's cool because it brings us together like this, but it's created a lot of interpersonal problems because there's no more connection to actual people.
Yep, I agree.
On another note, but kind of related, I was just having this conversation with my partner, and I was saying, Steven. I mentioned him once an episode, so there we go. I got it done. But I was saying that lately, me being on Instagram, which is like really the only social media that I use because I haven't been on Facebook since 2005, I think, but it doesn't make me feel good. I actually am trying to be more self-aware, and after getting off of Instagram for however long I've spent there, I truly try to do like an evaluation or an audit of how I'm feeling. And at the end of the day, like I cannot say in an overarching way that it makes me feel better than when I came there. And I think that supports your statement of overall, like, yes, technology is great. We're able to connect from 3 different cities today, and that's because of technology. But there's also this other kind of like wave of people who are really unable to connect in person with one another. And I think, to kind of to complete the circle, that group of people was really making that like movement for cancel culture, because cancel culture like is a result of what happens when people are so uncomfortable with something that they don't want to potentially hear another side. And no one in cancel culture is allowed to receive new information and change their minds.
Right.
They're not allowed to do that.
Right.
And that's damaging too, because it's preventing growth. So
I mean, I could have been canceled 15 times if I've been judged on everything I've done in the last 25 years. Let's be real.
True.
Let's be real.
It doesn't matter. We're all going to die anyway. The robots are coming from AI. So
what is that movie that Will Smith
Would you say that you're like a serious person, a sarcastic person, a little bit of both?
All of it.
Okay.
I am pretty like cards on the table. Like how I'm feeling, what I'm down for. But if I am one person, if I say I don't care, I truly don't care. So you pick. Like if I say I don't care what restaurant we're going, please just pick, because if I would have cared, I would have said it.
Also, another thing you and Jen have in common, she literally does not want to make that decision, but is
but I
actually.
think there's a difference. I think there's a difference. Like I literally like I don't care, but I feel like I care a little bit too less. I care. I don't. What am I trying to say? I always say I don't care, which I really don't. I really don't care, but I feel like I should maybe care a little bit more.
Because are you like begrudging it on the inside sometimes when a place
Well,
is
probably
picked?
sometimes, because I feel like that Enneagram 2 can be doing for everybody else, and then you're like, but what about me? Like
you gotta throw a genre. Like if you don't care, you gotta say, either you really don't care or set the parameters. Like, yeah, I can't pick, but as long as it's not X, Y, and Z, I'm good. Just set some boundaries.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Great. I'll take that advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am very, very pleased to report to you, Chloe, that Jen is now in her she doesn't give a fuck stage, and it's fun to be here. Welcome. It's great.
Yeah.
I love this.
It took a long time to get here, but
yeah,
here we are.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Well, I asked because I don't know, and I'm not playing this game. So
game.
You know that I don't even know how old she is. I don't know how. Well,
yeah,
I don't know.
What's so funny about that is that I always forget people's ages too, and people ask me all the time because they think Nicole and I are sisters, and she'll be like, "Oh," they'll be like, "Oh, how old is Nicole?" And I'll be like, "I don't know."
Okay, so I am 43, so I'm assuming you're somewhere between 35 and 43.
I'm 29. I'm
great.
kidding.
We love that. Next
great.
question. Moving on.
40. Yes, 45. You're correct.
So that's a perfect time to be in that stage if I don't give a fuck.
But I feel like I'm late.
We all get to it at different points.
You're right. It's because I grew up in that religious background, I think, and because like I got married so young, not by choice. Went through all of that, and then lived that life, and then yada yada yada, and then like when I started like growing up in my 30s, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I have a brain, you know? And then I got to 40 and I'm like, oh, like I have even more of a brain. And yeah, so now I'm just like, oh, maybe I actually shouldn't give any fucks.
Yeah, and I think that's the appropriate age because you have a lot of realizations along the way. Being trans like kind of makes it important for me, well, for me to survive anyway mentally, to not give a fuck to a degree because I cannot be concerned with what everyone thinks about like the decision I've made for my life. But I'm also an excellent compartmentalizer. Not That's not like a, what do you call it, an attribute. I don't think anyone should like go for that.
I feel like it could be. I need some of that.
But
I
have
think to a
learned.
degree it actually can be very
Yeah.
useful. Like I would relate that to something in business where it's like, you have to compartmentalize certain things to deal with putting out, the most important fires
Yeah,
right away. And then you
exactly.
compartmentalize something else that's maybe lower priority. You're saying you're not important. I'm just going to come back to you because I have to go put out this literal dumpster fire over here first, and then
Yeah.
I'll come back to this. So it just depends on, like, I guess the scale of importance, right?
Yeah,
So I think,
yeah, and yeah, I've
right.
just done it all my life, and I've tucked things away into neat little corners until I forget about them, and it's a survival mechanism. But at the same time, like, I'm just jumping all over the place, like, but this last 10 years for me has been probably the most important 10 years of my life. Um, there's been a lot of peaks and valleys, a lot, right? And a lot of my external confidence wasn't confidence during those times. It was just complete fucking fear and me just trying to be so confident that I was cocky and I would keep people away. And right before COVID, the year before COVID, it was very clear that I was coming to one of those points in my life. Maybe you guys have felt this, where you can feel that something has to change. You don't know what it is, but like something monumental needs to change. And I was feeling that. And COVID really helped because everyone went away, and I really had no choice but to look internally and figure out what it was that was making me so uncomfortable with myself. And what it was is, over that 10 years, I had gone through different points where I had allowed myself to become very toxic. And I don't put the blame on anybody else because there can be toxic people and I don't have to let them in my life. Like, I literally made the choice, right? Did I know I was doing it? No. But looking back, like, yes, I could see that and I have to learn from it. And I've spent a lot of time over since COVID. I don't even know how many years that's been because it's all a blur.
3, 4,
I think,
2.
I mentioned that maybe I didn't, that I'm a recovering drug addict, and I've done the 12 steps quite a few times. And so I've tried to like put those principles into my life just at different points. And so this last few years, I've just gone back, and anyone that I felt like I may have caused harm to, I've just gone back and been like, hey, I want to acknowledge that I was a very shitty person. And if there was like an X, Y, and Z, I would lay out X, Y, and Z. Or if it was just an overall general arch that I was an asshole, and then I would go back and revisit that and not expect a single thing out of their mouth, but just to hear what I had to say, because I let my toxicity affect other people, and it wasn't pretty at
Wow.
all.
That's huge though. That's so major that you actually like did such deep digging work that you actually went back to people, because a lot of people don't actually do the work. We do the work, but then we stop at a certain point, and then you like went past that and actually put it into action and went to the people to apologize. I'm sure that some people were probably shocked, were they not?
A couple. One is the perfect example. She was like, well, yeah, you were an asshole. And like, but like the conversation didn't go anywhere else. Like we both acknowledged it. Then we
Yeah.
talked about dogs and then, and then
John.
moved on. Um, I'm one of our common besties, Kelsey and I came together during I was going through some mental shit when I met Kelsey. And Kelsey and I did not part when we initially met on the best terms because I said some things that were like aggressively out of line. And Kels and she's one of my most valued friendships because her and I both came back to a place where we talked it out. And her and I do not see each other often. We talk often, but we don't see each other often. But her and I like birthed this beautiful friendship out of that like chaos, right? And to me, that is worth more than any other experience because her and I got to be vulnerable together, share this moment, and then create a new path with each other, which was like phenomenal. So I'm not a saint.
Who is?
I have to go back and do these things because I am a momentary reactor sometimes, which I try not to be.
That's okay, but anyone with emotions, especially who's like highly connected to their emotions, is going to have those moments or phases or years of their life. That's just how it is. And Jenna and I are pretty close with Kels as well, and I can probably speak for both of us in saying that it makes us very happy to hear that you and Kels rekindled that and we're able to create the friendship because our friendship with her is something that's very valuable.
Isn't it?
Yes. She's a very special human.
Yes.
Yeah. And a lot 100%. Of times, just because of her popularity in the sport and, Jen and I are like very active in the CrossFit space because we work in the CrossFit space. People will ask us all the time, what is she like? Is she really that nice? Does she just seem that nice? And we're like, no, she's actually nicer.
Yeah. She's actually been a lot more sensitive. So
yeah. That's great. Okay, this is completely like out of like left field, but I'm looking at all of your tattoos and can I just ask you when you started on your tattoo journey and how covered are you?
Yes. When did I start? I did start when I was 18, so I did wait until the magical date. I don't know.
Look at you following those rules. Okay.
Yeah, you really are.
I actually am a rule follower. Believe it or not, I do like a list of rules, so I know exactly how far I can push things. Anyway, that's a whole nother.
You like structure too, though. As an Enneagram 8, you really probably like game. You probably operate really well, understanding like, okay, these are my parameters, these are boundaries, guidelines, all that stuff.
Yep, 100%. It was the community, right? I ended up in Santa Cruz, California, skaters, surfers, punk rockers, all the things. And it was just the community of people that I was hanging out with. So I hung out in a lot of like tattoo shops and dive bars, and I really enjoy the artwork. So I've just kept that's a lie. I've kind of stopped a few years ago getting it because the older I get, the more it hurts. And I have like way less tolerance for it. But I'm pretty steady over the years. How covered am I? Well, I guess you have to go to OnlyFans and pay $9.99 a month.
Do we need to link it? Because Devin, our producer,
exactly.
Maybe do that.
I'll just put the link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could do that. You'll probably get in trouble. But it's Chloie Jonsson, my name. Just look up how to spell my name. There you go. Find me on all platforms. Love that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Do you have a favorite?
It changes. It does change, but I love this.
I love that too. How bad did that hurt?
I know.
Yes, I actually cried. I cried for 2 tattoos. This was one of them.
Okay.
What location was the other one that you cried at for?
The back of the knee.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I do have my entire ass tattooed. That was fun. That is actually my second favorite. And then I have a Venus flytrap on my other knee that I really like.
Like that.
But then we have to go to OnlyFans to see the
Yes,
rest.
please go.
Sure will. We will be doing that.
Can we talk about dating?
Yes, sure.
Let's talk about dating. Everyone wants to know about dating in any capacity in 2023.
They want to know everything about it. Everything from
Everything.
like pickup lines to what apps you're using.
Yes.
To
Are you on apps? Are you not on apps? How has that been? How is it dating as a trans woman? Is it even harder?
everything's hard. This shit's hard.
Everything's hard. Are you
This-
having the same epidemic as every other woman seems to be having of unavailable people?
Yes.
And
Low
emotionally
quality.
available, as in
yes. Do you want me to start going, or do you have a
yes,
couple more?
let's go.
Um, I mean, listen, and I've talked to a lot of my guy friends. That's a fucking lie. Maybe 5. I don't know why I said a lot. It's a couple.
Well, we do that too.
It's a handful. Of my guy friends, and they feel the same thing. So this is like, I am not hating on men. I am just hating on our society, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, dating is freaking hard. As a trans woman, I have to essentially be a detective because I have to figure out, well, I guess any single woman has to do this, but we have to figure out what the motives are, right? For me, it's often men just want this experience of being with a trans woman. So in my early 20s and it bled into my 30s, I fed into that because I had a big empty hole inside of my body and I needed to fill that hole, and I thought dick was going to fill that hole. It filled a hole.
That's a lot of women. That's a lot of women.
Yes, right. I mean, this stuff goes across the board. So I have no shame. I've had hundreds of partners in as many different capacities as you could imagine. One night stands. I've been parts of. I have never been in an open relationship, but I have been the partner to the people that are in open relationships. I've done multiples. I've done a lot of shit, but at this point in my life, in my 40s, a lot of therapy has helped me get to the point of realizing that for most of my adult dating life, I have dated down. And I don't like to, it makes me like not happy to talk about like dating down, dating up, dating at level. Like, what does that mean? Because I don't like to put people into boxes because I fucking hate when people put me into a corner or put me in a box. But it's applicable, right? Like sometimes like we have to address it.
It's reality, yes.
I'm very attracted to men that look like they would hate crime me. I am like, the more rugged and conservative you look, I'm just like, oh, daddy. If anyone's listening that has a beard and a horse and wrangles cattle, let me know.
Yeah, Cowboy Rip. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm going through my Yellowstone phase right now.
Gotcha.
It's just hard. It's the navigating of what people truly want. I do sex for a living. I don't actually do the sex. Like my platform is all just me, but I'm a sexual creature by nature. I do sex work. So when it comes to a partner, there needs to be other things than besides that platform, right? Like I'm not just looking for somebody that I can have wild, crazy, passionate sex with, because let's be real, there's a lot of those people. I would like a connection. I would like someone that I can cohabitate with. My ideal living situation with a partner would be a 3-bedroom house. I know that's asking for a lot, but hear me out. There is the together bedroom, and then there are separate bedrooms.
Yes.
there is no shade on which bedroom you want to be in on that night.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's how people probably stay together longer.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. I think a lot of people do. But yeah, it's hard. People want to just like fantasize me, fetishize me, which is cool. That's how I make my money. But when it comes to real life, you've got to step that pussy up, son. Like, you need to bring something to me that I have not seen before. Bring me like love and affection. Okay, that's also hard because I'm not like the easiest person to love because I got some walls. But
But you're aware.
Yeah, do something that's going to be original. I don't know. Like, I don't need grandiose gestures, but I need to know that you're authentic, like out the gate. So figure out what that is. If you have a hard time figuring that out, it probably means you're not an authentic person. So don't even come at me.
So when's the last time, are you like actively dating currently?
Also really hard because I I mean, my dream life is to like partner with somebody, have a shared dwelling, have some pets. If he has some kids, fine, bring them along. I don't mind. I do want to share my life with somebody. Like I said, I had a rough 10 years of like a lot of self-discovery. I probably haven't been ready to date anybody until now, mentally, to be honest, to like seriously date. I've been married. So I do kind of like want to date right now, but it's hard because like 2 weeks I'm in Reno, then another week I'm in Southern California, then I'm in NorCal, and then I'm wherever. It's hard. And then also guys assume because I'm a like transient right now that I'm all over the place, that if they're interested in me, then I will just flock to where they are. And I'm like, I am a secure woman of the millennia. You clearly know who I am from social media. Do you think I'm just going to pick up and move to wherever you are because you asked me to?
And Chloe, what's the reason that you're traveling so much? Is your work keeping you busy? Your personal interests, travel, all of the above?
So much has changed in the last 6 months, Nicole. I don't think we've even gone over this.
I'm glad I asked you while we're recording.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So the last 7 years, I've had like pretty high level commitment work, operations, and then my last gig, I ran a nonprofit that I've been part of for a very long time. I am no longer involved with any of that. I am completely my own entity.
Oh wow.
I am OnlyFans full time and as well as doing nutrition coaching. So that's a little fun endeavor that I'm taking off on because I do like to work with people and I do like to help people achieve things.
Okay, so OnlyFans full time. Can we talk about that? Touch on the OnlyFans thing for a minute. I feel like people have this idea of OnlyFans. They think that it's like, oh, I'm just going to take a picture of my feet and then I'm going to be making thousands of dollars a month. And all I have to do is put a picture of my feet. Can you, and I know that's not the case. So can you please explain to the people that is not an easy job to just throw up a picture and then be done for the day?
Yes, because I've gone through different capacities with my OnlyFans. It is a full-time job. If you want to make a living out of it, that is exactly what it is. It's going to be like any other 9 to 5 that you have to do. There are required. So there's a puppy here. I don't know if you can see this puppy. It is a job. So it is not you just post a photo. I have to engage. People are paying for engagement. They want to talk to me. I have to keep people enticed. That's really hard, right? Like 1 month you can be up 100 followers. The next month you could be down 75. You have to.
So it operates like Instagram in that way.
Yes. Cool. Yes, so you've got to entice. What is going to keep these people, these humans, on that reoccurring subscription, right?
That's going to be so hard because as you're losing followers and then gaining new ones, how do you keep a stronghold on what they even want?
Right.
Exactly. So there's, I have to keep people engaged. Like that's what I'm about to roll out, like a couple polls to find out what people are most interested in. But I also have boundaries for myself within my workspace of OnlyFans, because there's certain things I'd like to align with outside of OnlyFans. And I would be lying to myself if I would say that that makes dating any easier, because adding that I am trans and then have an OnlyFans to the dating pool is just like you're hanging yourself out for those bloodthirsty sharks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
see that. Can't imagine. I can't imagine.
But I love it. Like I love the fact that people pay to see me completely naked. And I've loved this fact for a very long time. I was on another platform before OnlyFans. Like, this is not new to me as a person. That's just like who I am in my soul. But the business aspect of it is really hard, especially with the way social media is now, because they tie into each other. I get people from social media. I don't get people from OnlyFans. Right.
Right.
So I have to keep them coming over. Then I got to play that game with Instagram on what exactly I can say, what I can post, what boundaries can I push. Um, I will say that like having the legacy verification did help me for a long time. I think I did not get in as much trouble as some of the other content creators that I knew that weren't verified on Instagram, which is also like bullshit in its own. Like
Now, for the low price of a monthly fee, you too, all of you, can
right,
be verified. So,
right, but you
and
have
how
people like
has that affected you at all?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe the ego, but not
I was gonna
anything.
say, if I was an OG blue check holder that went through the process and got my blue check, I would be highly upset now
Yeah.
that just any Joe Smo can do it.
Well, just for anyone that's listening, if you go to someone's page and they have a blue check mark, you can check on it. And once you press on that blue check mark, it'll tell you when that person was verified. So anybody that was verified after March of 2023 is paying for it.
Damn, the knowledge dropped just
Did
now.
not know that. Did not know that. But you know what? I know of who my friends is true and who is a newbie, because I can see when, you know what I mean. But
Yeah. I mean, it's cute. It's cute. If you want to pay that, it's totally cute
for
for
you.
you.
I refuse. I refuse.
You know, they say you get more protection, so maybe that's true because it is a crazy world.
I feel like that's also bullshit because they want to make money.
Yeah,
Money
go for
making
it.
operation, of course. And I had started the process for Chesty because we're actually patented. We actually have a registered trademark on the name,
Yeah.
which allowed me to actually own Chesty user accounts, which is great. And as soon as they offered the option to just simply pay for it, I was like, application dropped, withdrawn.
Right.
Like, it's not special anymore.
No, it doesn't mean anything. So yeah, that's helped me out. Like I was gonna say, like people like Britney Spears can get away with posting like essentially a completely nude with three tiny little stickers over the nanas and the shananas, and they're fine. But now a content creator with 10,000 followers that posts a picture with blurred out nipples gets their stuff taken down. It's such like a crazy battle. So I will say, like, it kind of helped me along the way. Um, morals, back to the morals thing. So I have like boundaries within OnlyFans because there's some things that, like, if I have a partner, should be in my eyes for that partner and not for the whole world. So I do like to keep certain things separated. No, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Will never see me banging someone on OnlyFans because that's not the route I want to go down. I have a lot of friends that do, and they make a lot of money, but I am choosing not to go
I
that
didn't know
route.
that about OnlyFans. I didn't know that you could go like into that territory.
What, other people?
No, like people like banging. I didn't know that you could. I didn't know you could do all that. I thought it was literally like I don't know, naked photos. Yeah, videos. Yes, I knew videos, but I didn't know like actual sex acts.
It's everything.
Okay.
I didn't know that either. Has
Noted.
it always been?
What?
Has that always been that way since the beginning?
As long as I've been around, it has been.
How long have you been on OnlyFans?
I switched to the OnlyFans platform during the pandemic.
Okay.
I was on a different platform beforehand. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people want to engage because I don't always catch everybody off of Instagram. So some people do pay for the engagement and the chatting, and it's fun. I have a menu that has everything that I offer. So it's very clear when people subscribe what they can get and what they're going to get on a daily
Oh, like
basis.
different tiers, right?
Yeah, because I post on a daily basis, and then if you want more, you can tip accordingly.
Ooh.
See, daily. Okay, people. See, it's not just post a picture of your feet and you're going to be making thousands of dollars a month. Okay? No, it's real work.
And not everyone can be as lucky as 2020 Jen and simply put a picture of a hanging swinging chair on their Instagram and get people to Venmo them money to pay for said chair. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And yes, I did send her money.
That was a fluke. Okay, this was a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago. When I moved into this house. So through like 3 years ago, I literally posted on my Instagram, but just kidding. You know how I always like just kid, like this picture of my swinging chair, and I was just like, I think it was like $500, and I was like, I'm not paying $500. But so I was like, I want this chair. Venmo me $1. Venmo me. You know how I was like, Venmo me. Someone Venmo me $1, like just kidding. And so I posted on my Venmo, oh, I got $1. I'm like that much closer to my chair. Literally everyone started Venmoing me money, and I got enough to get the chair, and I was crying.
I love this journey.
Brought me so much joy. She had to do a whole post.
I did a whole entire post about the chair and how meaningful it was to me because of starting over and it wasn't, and I was just like in tears, and it was like the best thing ever.
I love
so Chloe, we're wishing you chair energy.
Yes. Chair energy.
And much success for your OnlyFans accounts.
Yes.
Thank you. So, I mean, that ties into the travel. Like, I am just kind of all over the place because I don't have an obligation to be anywhere right now. And my hopes and dreams of living in Florida were crushed. So I'm still trying to pick myself up from that. But
so is there now a destination that you have in mind that you're like, okay, switch destinations. This is where I would ultimately love to end up?
Yeah, because I've been like homeless for a year, technically. Like I always have somewhere to stay, but I've been traveling, moving around for a year. SoCal was like the next best thing I could come up with from Florida. It's expensive, but I think everywhere is expensive right now.
That's the truth. Florida too, for Florida included.
So yeah, Florida's crazy. Florida used to not be so crazy expensive. So I don't want to live by myself. I would like to share a house with somebody or like a cute condo, something. I don't know. I'm still hoping that I'll meet Mr. Right along the way, but we don't know.
That would be great.
We're wishing that for you too.
Thank you. Wait, I had a question for you, Jen.
Oh,
I have a question for you. I just really want to understand what it is that makes you feel so confronted when people back their cars in.
I was very much afraid of this question that you were going to ask me. I'm like, confronted. I hate confrontation.
I just need to know what is like.
I just don't understand why. Why do you feel like you have to back in? I am dropping Aria off at preschool, okay? Just trying to get through the damn line. I'm just trying to park and get her in on time, okay? What are people doing in the parking lot? I'm going to move past the spot that I'm going to go into, move past it so I can back into it. So these motherfuckers are then I'm 5-10 more minutes late because you feel the need to move past a parking spot that I had my eye on to back into it. Why in a preschool lot? Why do we feel the need? In any lot, really.
I mean, there's some very applicable answers to this. So what I would like to ask you first is to please check your exaggeration, because I don't think it's
Of the
adding
5 to 10 minutes, because I had the same thought.
Five
But
minutes.
I do love that we want to make it feel more rushed and important, so I get it. You're a great storyteller. I'm here for it. But
I am a storyteller.
yeah. You have to do the same. If you pull in, you have to back out. So it's the same thing. Just
No, I feel like it's way quicker. I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's quicker for the getaway. And these have been people's arguments online. If I have to get away, like, but from who?
A lot. This is a crazy world. It's more relevant now than ever.
You were in the grocery store in the pet aisle and ran into a guy that used to be your situationship, and you need to quickly get out of there. Well, good thing the Tahoe was backed in at Publix, so your girl can just get out. I mean, I'm just using a random example that I just completely made up.
Random.
But there are benefits of backing in.
If you ever go to like a concert or a music venue and there's like thousands of people trying to leave
I
at
can
the
see
same
the
time,
benefit there.
what?
I can see the benefit there.
Because you can ease your way out instead of
There, I can see the benefit. I can see the benefit in some spaces, but like grocery stores, preschool parking lots,
church. The grocery store also makes sense because you don't want to be in the road when you're trying to put your groceries in the car, because now you're blocking people from driving by because your cart's in the road.
I don't really block anybody.
Well, listen, I am just excited because I am going to come to Florida this summer. We will do a whole thing, and I feel like you can't say no because we're on a podcast. So I would really love if we could just do like a whole series.
We're going to do a whole series
on backing in.
We are. So that's done. All right. Next question to close us out.
Yes.
We should have started with this, but actually we do this like question series at the end, and we never got a chance to ask you if you have a morning routine.
Yes,
that you do, anything that you know, like what's your morning routine? Do you wake up, do you meditate? Are you a coffee drinker? Do you do greens? Tell us about that.
Yes. And I'm very routine, so it does not change. It does not matter where I am. It's always the same. I do wake up. I do not meditate, but I do drink 8 ounces of water. That's the first thing I do when I wake up. While I'm doing that, I start the coffee pot or the pod or whatever it is. I go into the bathroom. I go pee. While I'm going pee, I turn on the water and get the water warm, because then I put my retainers in the warm water to clean them. This is how precise I am every morning.
That's very precise.
After that, I go and I take a shower. I do not do anything until I take a shower, and that means I work out after I take a shower.
Okay.
That's just how I have been since I can remember taking a shower. I just do it first thing in the morning.
Are we washing our hair in the shower, or is it just like body cleansing?
What was the first part?
Are we washing the hair in the shower?
Everything, or just like...
God, no. I hate hair washing day. It's like...
Same.
I don't like it. It's not fun. But no, it's just body. Usually I try to only wash my hair once a week.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah.
And then I go. So that's about it.
Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing that. Are there any books or other podcasts aside from ours that you're enjoying right now?
I'm glad you asked about books, and I'm not gonna fucking lie. I am not a reader. I went through a phase where I thought I was gonna be a reader, and I read for about 6 months, and it was riveting. I did get a couple good books in. I do listen to a lot of podcasts. Besides this one, I do listen to Guys We Fucked. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's really great. Give it a listen. I'll add that
to my list, because I am too a podcaster listener.
Yes. Guys We Fucked, and I listen to Whitney Cummings, the comedian. Mm-hmm. I listen to her podcast. That's about it.
Cool. Love that. Thank you. Okay, now this is rapid fire. we say a term and you tell us what is that immediate thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Got it.
Sunglasses at night.
Fucking stupid. Don't even try it.
Okay.
Agree.
Situationships.
Too much work.
Agree.
Festivals.
Hell fucking no. Don't.
Really?
Yep.
Is it because why?
Too unpredictable. There are too many variances. Everything is happening at one time. That is
it's too overwhelming. It's too overwhelming for you.
No, that's not even the thing. Like, I don't have social anxiety. I don't get overwhelmed by that stuff. It just is not a desirable situation for me. Like, there's nothing in my body. Like, when I see you guys get dressed up and get all cute to go to like your music things, which you guys are really cute. It takes me back to when I was a raver, but you guys wear less clothes, which makes me even more happy. There's nothing about seeing you guys do that I'm like, oh.
That makes you want to do it.
No.
That's fine. We'll just keep sending you the photos of our fits. So.
With the fits, yeah.
I am more of a lay at the pool and look at me kind of gal than I am like a festival gal.
Okay.
We are both of those.
Yes, actually we are.
We are both of those.
And then last phrase, international travel.
Yes, as much as possible.
Love that. We'll have to coordinate an international trip with you.
Yes.
At some juncture. That would be super fun.
Have you done Italy yet?
Not yet. I was supposed to go to Italy and then the pandemic hit.
Yes, Sicily, and I want to do Rome, Sicily, and then I want to go to Greece. Like, so maybe we could figure some things out.
Greece is on the list. Yep.
Let's figure that out. Let's do Greece. Is that on a safe travel list for you?
Yeah. They actually have oh my God, we don't have time. Anyways, I'm looking at a digital nomad visa. If you've heard of this, I don't know, but it's for people that work online only to get living visas for a year in countries, and Greece is one that has one. So I'm thinking of applying for one and living in Greece with Axel for a year.
Do it.
Well, thank you for also giving Rumble
another
idea for yet another certification and thing we need to apply for. So
yes. Correct.
Chloe, thank you so much for being with us today. This was great. We loved it.
I had a great time.
You know, Rumble never remembers our mantra to sign off, and I'm going to sign off, but do you know what it is? Can you remember?
Hold on, because I remember I just listened to the podcast the other day, and you said, Rumble never remembers this. You said the exact
last phrase. I just don't remember the order. I don't know why.
Okay, well, it starts with, we are happy, we are healthy, we are wealthy,
we are
smoke shows.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Well, you were a huge help, Chloe, with that one. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I had so much fun. You two are just gems, and I'm so glad we have orbited each other's circles for so long.
Let's keep orbiting. This is great. We love this. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.